What's up, headbangers? It's time for another episode of Heavy Metal 101 Reviews, where we listen to a heavy metal song and give our unbiased and honest opinion. Today, we have Mark with us again, and we're going to check out Alice Cooper, Dead Babies is the name of the song. And I'm pretty familiar with Alice Cooper. I wouldn't say that this song is one of my favorite Alice Cooper songs, but I picked this one because I think it's really interesting. And I know Chris and I talked before, and he said he wasn't really super big into 70s rock, and I assume that he's probably not familiar with some of it. So we're going to check this song out. I'm going to give you a little background on Alice Cooper. The band was formed in 1964, and they were discovered by Frank Zappa, and that's how they got their big break. The lead singer, Vincent Furnier, eventually changed his name to Alice Cooper. And then I want to say 1975-ish, he went solo and on his own. He's definitely a pioneer, a shock rocker. He was very influential to future bands like the Plasmatics, super influential to Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, people like that. He wasn't the first shock rocker. There was people that came before him. He was very influenced by Screamin' Jay Hawkins and the crazy world of Arthur Brown. I would say even Jim Morrison, to an extent, you could maybe call a shock rocker a little bit.
I will follow you. Because you're mine. Oh, yeah.
Jim Morrison was a huge influence on Alice Cooper. What was interesting, and besides their stage show, which they do a lot of stuff where Alice pretends to kill himself or somebody kills him on stage or stuff like that. He also wrote songs that were about taboo subjects at the time, like child abuse or mental illness. He's got a couple songs about necrophilia. So, you know, you name it, he's probably done a song about it. So this is off the album Killer, which came out in 1971 and hit number 21 on the Billboard charts and went platinum. So without further blabbing away, let's get into Dead Babies.
Yeah, I was trying to think of Screamin' Jay Hawkins when you said it. That dude is awesome.
Before we start, I guess I want to just ask both of you guys, like, what do you think of when you think of Alice Cooper, or what do you know about Alice Cooper?
I know he's from Detroit, and I know School's Out. That's
okay.
But Dustin, you know, I lived in Phoenix for a while there. So Alice Cooper also resides in Phoenix and has a pretty big presence there as far as like opening up some bars in Cooperstown.
Okay.
So stuff like that. But surprisingly enough, my old band from the 90s, like that was a big deal. We wanted to, the singer always wanted to cover Alice Cooper. And I could be wrong, but I do believe Dead Babies was a song he was always wanting to cover. So this should be fun.
Okay, yeah, most people only know, you know, like School's Out, No More Mr. Nice Guy. In the 80s was Poison and Feed My Frankenstein were pretty big popular ones, but the band had a lot of great songs in the early 70s.
Little Betty ate a pound of aspirin. She got them from the shelf up on the wall. Betty's mommy wasn't there to save her. She didn't even hear her Dead babies can't take care of themselves. Dead babies can't take things off the shelf. Well, we didn't want you anyway. Daddy is an agrophile in Texas. Mommy's on the bar most every night. Little Betty's sleeping in the graveyard. Living there in burgundy and white. Dead babies can't take care of themselves. Dead babies can't take things off the shelf. Well, we didn't love you anyway. Goodbye, little Betty. Goodbye, little Betty. So long, little Betty. So long, little Betty. Betty, so long. Dead babies can't take care of themselves. Dead babies can't take things off the shelf. Well, we didn't need you anyway.
All right, what'd you think of that one, Chris?
I thought the bass riff was really cool. It sounded a lot like Cream, especially with the drums. It had a real Ginger Baker feel to it.
Okay.
it was an odd juxtaposition between, you know, the morbid lyrics and kind of the uplifting music. I spent most of the song trying to figure out what his angle was, because before reading the lyrics, I assumed it was about abortion. But it seemed, reading the lyrics, it sounds like it's almost more about child neglect. And
Yep, that's exactly what it's about, is child neglect.
And I'm not sure, I don't know what an agrophile is, but you know, mommy's on the bar most every night. I wasn't sure if that meant like she, you know, was just like negligent like that, or if that was like part of the grieving process. Like, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, that I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something that a lot of people have debated about this song, is what the hell an agrophile is and what that line means, and also whether this was I mean, clearly after they say that mommy's on the bar, then it says that Betty's in the graveyard already. So was and then you can also interpret on the bar. Does that mean that she's drunk every night, or that means she's stripping every night? She's a stripper.
Mhm.
So, but anyways, back to the agrophile. So I tried to figure it out, and if you look it up, like the definition is something that thrives in the dirt. So there's been people that have interpreted as that he's a farmer or a land tycoon. There's people that have interpreted as he's dead. He's in the dirt, right? Thriving in the dirt.
That's what I thought.
There's even been an interpretation that he's in love with dirt, or like he's fucking the dirt, the earth. So, I mean, I don't know if Alice has ever. You would think that at some point in his career he's had to have been asked about this, but I couldn't find anything from him on the matter. It's just a lot of fans and listeners like debating what it means online.
I have a different idea on an interpretation, is that farmers sow seeds and you reap what you sow.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? Like continuously, basically doing the same thing over and over, possibly. Not
Could be.
necessarily, you know, physical farmer, but, you know,
Right.
keep making mistakes, keep paying for mistakes.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting line, because even that whole little stanza is like sort of ambiguous as to what dad's up to, what mom's up to, but it's very explicit of what Betty is up to, you know, in that stanza. So it's pretty kind of a unique little verse there. Yeah. Did you hear anything where you could pick up hints of like some more modern artists where they may have had Alice as an inspiration? Like, did you pick up any Marilyn Manson or anything like that?
I mean, lyrically, yes.
Yep.
Stylistically, in terms of music, not really. But now, I mean, this guy pretty much initiated the shock rock. So I think,
Right.
you know, maybe not the first one, but, you know, like you said before, kind of put it into the mainstream, because people like Screaming Jay Hawkins were kind of in the background, kept in the closet like a dirty little secret. Because, you know, it was a sign of the times and how race relations were. And then he had this, you know, cannibal voodoo guy doesn't send the best message. So, you know, Alice Cooper was, I think, a little easier to digest. Not to say that he didn't have his own controversy, but like I said, if you look at how society was at the time, if that makes sense.
I picked up a little Queen in there. a couple times, like something that could have been part of Queen,
Right.
I could see where the theatrics definitely carried over into, say, more like power metal or something like that, but or the musical style, I should say. But the theatrics definitely, was left more like Marilyn Manson and shock rockers today.
All right. Well, hope everybody found that interesting, and make sure to leave a comment down below what you thought of the song, what you thought of our opinions, and any suggestions you have for future videos. We'd love to hear them. Rock and roll.